Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the One More Thing Tech podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Quasi.
And I'm Adam.
And if you can tell from my background, I'm not in the studio today. I'm actually 700 miles away from the studio. You might be like, Quasi, why are you 700 miles away from the studio? I don't know if you guys heard that in the background, the beeping of the fire alarm. It's going to be quite constant in this episode. Hopefully not, but it's kind of, annoying me a little bit that the basement things are doing this. But I'm home right now for some reason, right? I don't really want to go into depth about the reason, but that's just the reason for the different background today if you're watching on video. If you're watching or if you're listening on audio, just ignore everything I just said. So, Adam, you said you had a story about your iPhone 17. Also, guys, I'm about to be chomping on pizza. Do not look at me. Go ahead, Adam.
So, as expected, I did get my iPhone. There's a couple things that was interesting. It was delayed. So, first part of the story is the day of Apple charging the card that I chose, found out that the limit for that card is $1,500 for one transaction at a time. And the iPhone that I chose was more than that transaction limit. So the issue I had was Apple said that we have to have different card on file. So I chose different payment method, got it all sorted out. But that very moment delayed my iPhone from getting there on Monday until Wednesday, which was a lot of the sucks. You know, because you had to be there for it and all this other stuff. Now, I made arrangements where it'd be delivered at work, which is a way better experience, by the way. I always do that if I can. And I got it way sooner. And I was able to do the iCloud backup restore, which I thought would take all day. It took until about 4:30, around there. And it worked out. So that was a good part. The part that kind of sucked, though, is what's happening afterwards.
What's
so brand new
afterwards?
iPhone. Well, things I never thought I'd ever witness on an iPhone. The phone is great except two things. AirPlay is atrocious. I mean, I don't even want to turn it on anymore. It's that bad. It is awful. And I'm still pending talk with Apple to get that worked on. I had to just begin the car when I deal with it. I just need time to do that. But essentially what happens is it connects to CarPlay as it should. And then it has this great thing called, I'm just going to turn off your CarPlay unit and restart it and stop the audio before that for like a good 20 seconds. And then when that occurs, side fun thing, we're going to make your phone freeze for like a good 2 minutes where nothing stops it. Nothing stops it from doing that, right? And I can't just do like a hard reset. I have to just wait, which is so fun when you're in the car.
Why can't you hard reset it?
It won't work. It just doesn't. It just stays in that screen.
The volume up, volume down, and then you just hold it until it doesn't work at all. There might be underlying issues with your phone.
So what happens is once it comes back from freezing, it like does all those actions like all at the same time, which is like a disco flash all over the place. And there's that. So I had to figure out why that's happening. It could just be a bug. I don't know. I mean, my CarPlay unit is not a first party. It's a third party unit I got. So that could be part of the problem. I don't know. But to my understanding, it uses the phone's OS for CarPlay. So I just don't know what's going on with that. So that is a big issue for me. That is actually really awful. Like, just bad.
You know, it sounds pretty bad.
I don't know why that has to happen to me, but it just does.
Well, who else is going to give out their story on the One More Thing Tech podcast?
I'm just waiting for others to say things. But I will say that part, besides all that, the phone takes immensely phenomenal images. That times 8 optical zoom is like, it's like you have your own telescope with you at all times almost. Of course, not the same distance as a telescope, but it's still phenomenal. So I will say that. I took some pictures over the weekend and of last week, and I really like how they turned out. It's just awesome. So I like that. To leave on a good note. But, Quasi, I did say to the people that I would mention what I did get. So
I know what you got. But what did
I know.
Like,
the 1
first
terabyte.
Off, what's the accessory on the back there?
That is a mouse case. I'm trying them again. I had them before, and I never not liked them. I don't know why I just stopped using mouse. I really don't know. I think I know why. The student worker at the time who convinced me to get a mouse case graduated, so I just thought I shouldn't get them anymore. That's not a good reason at all, but that's why I did it. So 1 terabyte iPhone 17 Pro Max. You might be asking yourself, why did you not get a 2 terabyte? We know who you are. You're a storage guy. Well, it's only because the only time I heard about a 2 terabyte possible option, Quasi, was from one source that was not really correct on what they say usually, right? They kind of say stuff like, hey, the iPhone's going to be black this year. It's going to have this, and they're usually always wrong. But they were right this one time, so I didn't believe them. I didn't budget for it. So I budgeted for the 1 terabyte option, so best believe next iPhone Quasi that I purchase will be 2 terabyte if they keep it, which they should. They should only go up in space from here. And we should get to a point where a 512 storage option is the default base. Because what we have now
That's going to get expensive, though.
Okay, it doesn't cost them much more to do that, though. They charge a lot.
It costs the consumer much more.
They charge a lot for it, but it doesn't cost them that much more. I mean, right now you can go from a 512 to a 1 terabyte SSD for about $30 or $40.
This is true.
Now, this is a different chip. I understand it completely. I get that. But it's also a little cheaper, to my understanding. So, what I'm trying to say is, Apple, if you can make the base a 512, that's acceptable in my eyes. But this whole 256 gig, come on. They know they could do better for what they charge.
Did you know that Apple used to start at 16 gigabytes? So I'd say this is much better.
It was 8.
The
very first iPhone was 8.
Yeah, I'll just say this is much better.
We have more RAM now than the very first iPhone storage capacity.
This is true. That's kind
of
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Other than that, though, which is kind of a big issue, the iPhone for me is really nice. The battery lasts a long time. It does stay way cooler than my last one did for sure. I mean, my last one, you could cook an egg on the back of it. It got so hot. So that's getting sent back to Apple to get me some money back for this phone. That'd be nice. Anyway, that's my first story. My second one, I'll leave for the end of the podcast. And this one was equally as frustrating. Let me tell you that, Quasi, but you'll hear it first on this podcast. Okay. Right. Should we dive into it, Quasi?
Yeah, we've got sort of an Apple-heavy podcast today.
We really do.
Starting with the Pro Display XDR. So for those of you that don't know, unless you're an absolute professional in your field and you're doing like high-grade video editing and you need all the colors in the world, you probably don't need a Pro Display XDR, right? It's one of the most expensive things that Apple that Apple offers, right? And me personally, I don't need it. Let's take a look at it here, Adam.
Okay, you don't need it, Quasi, but given the opportunity, if Apple's like, hey, Quasi, you've been great this year, we're gonna be Santa. We're gonna give you a brand new monitor. That's what I'm saying. It's a beautiful. So, just so we're clear, this is not an OLED model, to my understanding. It's still LCD. But here's one thing I'll say about Apple screens. Even though they're not an OLED model, they make screens look dang near like an OLED every single time. And I don't know what they do, but their screen department is phenomenal. Let me just say that right now. Now, the new one
clearly putting overtime work.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's like the same people that do the processors. Just phenomenal. I will say this, though. I believe this next potential display from Apple should be an OLED unit, to my understanding. Is that what you understand, Quasi? I guess this Pro Display XDR does not define if it's OLED or not. But I have to imagine.
Know if it's going to be OLED. I think my personal guess would be mini LED, just because the color
could be that,
and the color range.
I'll take that too.
So much more, if that makes sense.
It makes OLED look like it's worse. Can you believe that? I never thought in my life I would say that out loud, but it does. Mini LED is phenomenal. Oh.
The only thing that's worse is the deep blacks, and you don't even want that if you have a mini LED screen. Let's be honest.
Well, but I think they've made things better where the deep blacks still occur on mini LED. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But I've seen mini LED when it's like in black mode, and I'm telling you, it's like paint black. It's just
Mm.
like that. I don't know what they do, but I'm impressed.
Wait,
And I love it.
I actually might have lied because if you like look at my Mac screen, I'll bring it to you whenever I see you. But like, if you look at my Mac screen, sometimes it does this thing where like it'll turn off the LEDs and the top portion of the screen so that the menu bar disappears. And I completely forgot it
Ooh,
does that. And like it hides the
ooh.
notch really well, and I always forget about it. So I might have just given some I might have just taken away some credit from them, and I would like to apologize and give that credit back.
Okay,
That noise is really starting to get on my nerves. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think there's two of them, by the way, because it's like
No, there's
beep
definitely
then
two of
beep.
them. There's one that's really loud, and it's definitely that one. But I already took the battery out. You know what I mean?
The only thing you could do to stop this, Quasey, is get a sledgehammer. I, I don't know what else you could
I
do.
have a crowbar.
Or a crowbar. Be
You
like
might see
Marv in
me with
Home
the
Alone
crowbar
2.
here in a
Just
second.
beat things with it. Any case, back to this. We are expected that this would cost about $5,000 to $7,000. This new display, which is more than like most TVs people
Are you
have.
budgeting for that?
Here's what I'll say: if the podcast is very grateful between now and when this comes out, and we can both get one, maybe. That's what I'll say. Otherwise, my wife would slit my throat, and she should if I spend this much money on a
I
display.
agree.
You know, like a TV, okay, maybe, but even then, it's gonna be a bad day or a bad week. You
Where are you
know,
buying a $5,000 TV at?
oh, it's so easy to
I
do
just
though. You know, you just gotta get like a 100-inch OLED from Sony. I'm not sure they even cost that much, but you know, there's a ton of places to buy TVs. Let me put it that way. It's
there
just, you
is.
know, this price point, you know, unless you're gonna get like a TV in like a home theater system, it's like a medium or low grade, then you really shouldn't spend $5,000 on a TV. Unless you're buying multiple TVs for your household and upgrading all of them at once. That makes sense in my head,
I
right?
don't know why you'd buy them all at once, but yeah, it does. Maybe
Because
you're
you
moving into
know,
a brand new house and you need like the TV you had that 32 inch you had in your apartment's not cutting it anymore. You got four bedrooms. You want every bedroom to have a TV, and that's when you go spend $5,000.
but the
You
thing
know what I
is,
mean?
you will know that this new one is the new one. The other ones will not be nearly as good as they once was. It's like if you move into a new house, the old towels you had before are not even worth your time anymore. You need to get new towels for a new house. That's the golden rule that I
What?
figured out in life. Yes, it really is. And
I
if you,
just feel like that's
it,
so expensive.
well, it is. I'm just
Redecking out
saying,
your entire thing.
towels is something that I figured out from being married that you cannot use anymore, and you only do if there's no other towels washed. That's kind of like the backup towels of yesterday. But in any case, back to this. We're talking about a potential 32-inch model, right, with 7K resolution. And I'm going to have to guess, Quasey, it might even be 8K, is my guess. So, you
I
know,
mean, either one,
that's what I'm guessing.
I won't be seeing it anytime soon, so it doesn't
Well, I mean,
it
the Apple
doesn't matter
stores
too
have you can at
much.
least go enjoy it at the Apple store.
Do they even have the Pro Display at the Apple stores?
Yes, they do.
I've seen the studio display, but I don't think maybe it just was
Hmm.
too expensive for me, so it just like
You
started
said that
fading
out
into the
loud.
background.
I don't actually remember seeing this exact screen there,
Yeah, that's what
but
I'm saying.
you know, man, someone's gotta have one, right?
You know, Best Buy definitely doesn't, but I'm sure some store somewhere
So I have to figure
has
that
where you
out.
can take a
That's gotta
look.
be a. That's your assignment among your other assignments. You gotta figure this out. Who has this? We can go see.
We
Not the new one, but like
will
the
figure it
current
out.
one.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out.
The reason why we know this is confirmed, there's code references in Mac OS Tahoe 26.1 Beta 3. So that's why we're saying this is coming soon. We're not saying it's coming like next month or this month. We just know it's coming soon, but it might come out this event in October that we're still pending from Apple to see, and that's actually our next topic, Quasi. Whoa!
Whoa, what a transition.
I know.
Anyway, so, with Apple's launch event in the past, the iPhone launch event is in the past. There's only one more thing to look forward to this year. Whoa,
I
that was
know.
a title moment. I just put our title on the
Perfect.
screen.
Perfect.
Um, but that's the October event. Now, right now, I'd be remiss to tell you that Apple has not announced anything yet. There's no text messages being sent out. There's no invitations. There's not even a date and time. It's a little bit scary, guys. It's a little bit scary, but
Well,
I
they
have
still have
faith.
time. They still have time. I mean,
As long as they don't drop it a day before the event, I'll be watching. Who am I lying to? I'm gonna watch it
they're
anyway.
absolutely not going to do that. We're going to see. I mean, I think we're still both agreeing that's going to be the 21st or 22nd of next week. So that means they have today, tomorrow, and maybe Thursday at most to get this thing announced for the press.
I really hope
Which
they announce it today. But the
they
people won't
might.
know. Today is Tuesday, guys.
Today's Tuesday
Yeah,
for
we usually
us.
record on Mondays now, and we used to record on Tuesdays. And guys, the recording schedule isn't what matters. All that matters is this episode came out on Friday. That's all that
That's the
matters.
Inquasi for sure is not going to delay that at all this time.
We don't
We
know
did
about
release
that. I
on
gotta be
Friday.
honest,
We
but
did. We had some
it'll be out
difficulties.
on Friday.
Let's just try to see if we can get it to the normal time, Quasi. Okay. No, and for a second, I am not mad at Quasi. I know he has an absolute busy schedule. He has things going on in his life that's just crazy right now. I get it, right? As a student, everything else, it's a lot of stuff. So like, I'm not gonna be mad at him. He did push it out, and I think I texted him like at 3 or 4 in the morning, and he still got it out by 5. So I was very impressed. Good job, Quasi. I mean, better late than never, right? So in any
Yeah,
case,
I try. Thank you.
you did, and I know you got your plates really for it now. So it's just it's fine. It's not an issue at all. We have no sponsors that we have to appease anyway right now. We have some ads, but that
This
just
is
happens
true.
on our schedule. That's the best thing about it right now. But yes. Now, with this event, let's just kind of dive into what we're expecting to see. The first thing is brand new iPad Pros with an M5 chip. This is where they're going to announce the chip, and the iPad gets it first. And that's an interesting way of doing it. They're going to do that. And this is the first
Well,
device
I
they're
think
going to
they did
announce
that
it on.
last year with the M4 too, right?
They did. And for a base model. So it's crazy to me still that the iPad gets an M series chip. That's the first chip. I get that. But don't for a second think that that chip is not an incredible chip, even the base model. It still outweighs most chips in the market. The iPad's going to get that. Now, Quasi, what else are we going to see?
A new Vision Pro. Fun
Vision
fact.
Pro. Now, my question is, Quasi, you think it's going to be a Vision Pro 2 or the Vision like Light or Air?
I think it's going to be a Vision Pro 2.
So
Right?
do I.
Second, I don't think anyone's going to buy it. I'm being quite honest with you. The
I
Vision Pro,
think
don't get me wrong. Go ahead.
if they make it more comparable in price, not $5,000, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's the issue there.
What's 3,500? But I'm saying $5,000 when you want to get what you want to get for it. Sometimes, right, the accessories and all that stuff. This price point of $3,500 has got to be reduced. It's out there. They have all the R&D done, all that stuff. Maybe they could see a better impact on sales in a good way if they have it for like, let's say, $2,500. Still expensive, I realize that, but it's more compelling than $3,500. Would you say, Quasi? I mean, you're at
Most
least
definitely.
considering it then, right?
Yeah,
At this point, you're like,
when people
ooh,
bring up the Vision
it's
Pro
expensive.
today, I just don't even consider buying it. But like, if it's $2,000, that's not that bad. That's how much I purchased this computer for.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it's a bit
know.
more than 2,000, but
The
that's
only thing that's really sad about this though is people that you see on YouTube that have it, they keep saying the same thing, and it's all as a whole. They love it. It's a great device, but it's in my drawer. Haven't used it in months.
Yeah, I keep
That's
hearing that, and I don't want
it's
to spend
sad.
that much money just to put in a drawer.
I know, and that's what makes it very sad. You know, the device itself is still really great. I'm still curious if Tim uses it every day like he said he was. Probably
He
not like he
most
used
definitely does
to.
not. No
He
one will lie
just
to you.
can't. But what if he does, though? We're all just like, they could pull out some things, that we're just surprised sometimes about, like certain accessories. Oh, I want to bring that up, Quasi. Okay, so we had on TikTok an overwhelming amount of people reach out about that specific bit that we had about the cross
Crossbody
strap.
strap? Yeah.
Yes, we had a whole discussion on TikTok, and we love that. That was great. So we had some people mention. I won't say their name. You can go on our TikTok and see who they were. That, well, maybe it wasn't marketed for you guys. You're not the target audience for this accessory, and they'd be right. That's very true.
Oh, most definitely. I'm not the
Here's
target audience. I don't know
and here's the
who
thing.
is.
They mentioned that certain females would be right and certain guys, right? We're not trying to say there's labels attached to this. What I'm saying is this. I think in general that accessory was not going to do well, only because it just the idea that like your phone would be secure enough to stay on that does not make sense to me. In it, I guess, but it just seems like your phone's exposed. You have options to hit against a wall if you move wrong, or it catches on a doorknob, or just there's issues like that. That's why I kind of thought it would not work as an accessory that would be very popular because it's just strange and no one else has done that. That's their approach. But to me, it's like I'm not seeing the practicality of that to even make that move to even buy one. I don't know. The price point's really expensive, but it's also very leather. So there's that.
This is
But
true. The
do you have
weather's
any
nice.
do you have any comments on that, Quasi, from what people
Um,
sent TikTok? We should probably start doing that, by the way. It's great
maybe
reaching
I'm
out.
just. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm not the target audience. Maybe the target audience is looking at this last week's video and they're like, "Wow, what a bunch of morons." And for that, I would like to apologize because clearly I was wrong. Clearly, people love it. Or
We were
maybe
wrong.
Apple only made 60 of them and they sold all 60 of them.
That's
And
what
that's
my
why.
thought is.
But if I don't understand the reasoning behind it. But if you bought this crossbody strap, please shoot me a text. I'd love to see it, how you're using it. Are you using it like a slingshot? Like
Ooh,
I
or
really
to herd
like
some
I would
cattle.
personally be using it like a slingshot. I think that'd be absolutely hilarious. But
That would be
yeah,
very
just let me
funny.
know because I don't have one and I will not be purchasing one for $60.
I don't think I will either. Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
back on
just
top,
can't. Okay,
I
so
can't
iPad
either, Adam.
Pro, and we talked about the Vision Pro, potentially 2 or Air. Now we get to the MacBook Pro, Quasi, with the M5 chips too. Now, I've heard this from a lot of people now. This might be the year that we get OLED on them. Because if I'm not mistaken, it's not on there now, correct?
No, Mac is mini LED right now.
Okay, I think we're going to get OLED on this Mac. I'm not saying mini LED sucks. I'm not saying that at all. I think they're going to bring it finally to the Mac. And that's what we're going to see. And we're going to see the new M5 chip series, the M5 Base, Pro, and Max. Ooh. We will see that, but later. It says they're only going to have the M5 Base to start with. That's going to
Yeah.
suck. Ooh.
I mean, it's gonna
Why?
suck for somebody, not for us. We're not gonna purchase that.
I mean, like I said, the M5 Base is not a bad chip, but that Pro and Max with it. Ooh. I
Yeah.
Why are they delaying it? I've
Like
never seen it
the
before.
Pro is already. I mean, the regular is already amazing chip. The Pro is more than anyone needs. I don't see what would make anybody in their right mind look at a Max chip and be like,
That's the
"Yuck!
one that
I don't
that's the
want
one
that."
that Adam wants is the Max chip, by the way. Not that you said that out loud. Because why would you not want the best possible chip that Apple makes? That's why.
Hey,
That's why, Quasi. I'm a
future
power
proof it
user.
all you need to. That's
I guess.
I just the power like the the power I'm getting with this M3 Pro, and it's
I
about to be 2 years old.
My wife's
Lord have
M1
mercy.
Pro, or is she had the Pro or just the base? Whatever one she has, that's still a powerhouse. That could seriously still operate a space shuttle by itself. Like seriously,
Oh yeah,
it's
this M
just
chip
amazing.
is something else.
I think they're phenomenal still. So here's the thing though, they're not really mentioning much more here besides just the HomePod and the Apple TV. Besides all that, and a new AirTag. Ooh, now we're gonna talk about this a little bit further, probably the next one. But there's a new Apple TV rebranding we're going to discuss. New HomePod. Now, here's the thing. I think you're just going to see the HomePod Mini, Quasi.
It's very likely.
I'm not opposed to the HomePod Mini. I like the HomePod Mini, but I want them to refresh the HomePod base big guy, you know, and bring back what the first one had for your bass and your tweeters and all that stuff. So the highs and lows are good and everything, because the second one sounds okay, but it's like you bought from Dollar Tree. It's just not nearly as good as the first HomePod. And they know that. They want to reduce the price. I get that, all that stuff. But bring back the original one with the great stuff, and we'll love that. Now, Quasi, Apple TV, what do you think is going to happen here?
So the thing is, the change. I didn't notice it until I read the article. Right. Apparently, it's no longer Apple TV Plus. Right. It's always been Apple TV Plus for some reason. Nobody ever really knew what the plus meant, but
Everything that's streaming has a plus. That's just what they do.
yeah, it was like Disney Plus.
HBO Max Plus or
Wait, what else?
Max Plus.
That,
There's a whole
that's
bunch of pluses in the
there.
streaming now.
You're gonna have to trust me. Like you put me on the spot here. I can't remember any more pluses, but I guarantee you, everybody was putting plus in their title at one point, and Apple TV followed the trend.
Absolutely.
So is there like HBO Plus?
There's
Forget
Max
about it.
Plus, I
Hulu
think.
Plus.
Hulu Plus was one.
All right, so that's
ESPN
two.
Plus.
ESPN Plus. Yes, yes, yes.
There were Paramount
Um,
Plus.
the, see, there's just more options. So it's you guys just have to trust me on that one. But what was I trying to say? Yeah. So if you look at your iPhone right now, unless you're driving, please don't look at your iPhone if you're driving. Um, it's probably not great for you. But if you look at it, it's just gonna say Apple TV now. Um, is that like the world's biggest change? Not really, but
Isn't it weird though, Quasi, that they're changing that name to the same
well,
thing
nobody
that's a
called it Apple
product?
TV Plus anyway.
No, they didn't. But here's the thing: there is a certain product called that already. So a service and a product can be called the same thing.
This is true. I completely forgot that there was a certain product already called the Apple TV,
Which is
which
also
is weird
coming
because I
out.
have an Apple TV.
Yeah.
So it'll just make the name synonymous with the stream box, and everybody's gonna want to buy the stream box because they have the Apple TV.
Isn't it going to confuse people though that they're paying for Apple TV subscription based when that's just the service and not the product?
Well, I think doesn't the Apple TV isn't the Apple TV called the Apple TV 4K?
Well, that's if you get the 4K option.
Was it just not? It's not every Apple
I think the
TV.
newer ones are only 4K, and if you don't have 4K TV, so just downscales to whatever you have, basically for the resolution. But I mean, at this point, everybody should have a 4K TV. If you don't, I mean, unless it's not in your bathroom, you should have a 4K TV, realistically. And if you,
It's the big 2025 guys.
I know.
Like
Here's
I'm not bashing on you if you do have a 1080 or HD TV. It's just it's time for an upgrade, dude.
I just think that
Treat
what people
yourself.
should do is this: save up some money, right? Wait till you get to Black Friday time or Cyber Monday, and then you get a Sony OLED TV. When you
I was
get
actually
that,
at Walmart the other day, Adam, and I just saw
first mistake.
a. What do you mean first mistake? I wasn't at
No
Walmart in
TVs at
Illinois.
Walmart. No Walmart has good TVs. They just don't.
That's just simply not true.
Okay, go ahead and tell
But
me
for
what you saw
those
there.
that need to save money, right? I saw a 66 or 65-inch TV, not 66. They don't sell 66.
They
It was a
don't.
65-inch TV for under
What was the
$300.
brand? Right there.
I think it was
That oh my,
Vizio.
oh my gosh. Please, as a human race, let's just not buy those ever, ever.
It's not that bad.
Let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
True story, verbatim. I'm going to tell you what happened to me. So I had my own business. Okay, I sell electronics. I work on computers, all that kind of stuff. Vizio called me directly to have me service and sell their TVs. They were first getting out there, right? And the regional sales rep for this region of the country mentioned to me that as part of your sales tactic, you gotta tell your customers and encourage them to purchase a TV every year because we don't expect our TVs to last more than a year. They'll be designed to break down and to
That's
have a
horrible.
loss of quality and picture and sound as it starts using it. And after about a year or two, they will stop working. That's what they told me verbatim. And I said, you're not really selling the brand to me at all. You're not. That's not what you say.
That's
It's
so
like
bad.
if a boat salesman said, this boat is a great yacht. It goes so far, but you might not be able to get back. It might just break down, blow up. Do you still want to buy it?
Absolutely not.
And the person who's selling it is Michael Bay for a movie he's making. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't hear that and want to just go buy it. But here's what I'll tell you. A very wise man once told me about the...
You might have muted yourself.
I'm muting myself. Okay,
Yeah.
I did. So, okay, a wise man once told me this. There's a rule of T's with three. That is price, size, and quality. You get to pick two. If you want a large screen TV that's cheap, it's going to lack in quality. Okay? But you can also get all three of them, and it's going to be more expensive, right? That's just kind of how it works.
That's true.
But what I'm saying is, just do this because I think the reason most people don't buy really nice TVs because either the funds, and that's a very big part of it, but they don't know what they're missing. That's the thing. They never had a really good TV to know what they're missing. So just go to your local place that sells TVs, that sells Sony OLED, walk up there and watch the demo for like 5 minutes, and you will understand what you're missing. And that will encourage you, hopefully, to then save up the money to then get a Sony OLED TV. When you do that, you just wait to the right time to buy it. Perhaps Black Friday, Cyber Monday, around this time of year. That's when you see the sales happen. Prime
Prime
Days
Day
even.
deals. Yep.
Yeah. They had a 65-inch Sony OLED, right, with a great processor that it has, for about $1,200. Still a lot of money, I get that. But just save up and don't buy the cheap ones for about 2 or 3 years and get that. You'll love it. I promise you. And now you won't go back to a non-OLED, I promise you. Just listen very closely to this. Because once I finally got my OLED, when I was convinced to get one, I'll never go back. Never. Can't. And that brings us to the new Apple TV service that's getting changed. Talk about TVs. That was a really bad transition. Okay, but anyway. As Quasi mentioned, the new Apple TV is being rebranded from Apple TV Plus to Apple TV. Now, Quasi and me have both seen that Apple has potential to make really, really good content for the TV show sector and movie sector.
Definitely in the movie sector.
Well, even their TV shows are really good, though. Don't let that pass you by.
I want to tell you that they literally made my favorite movie of the summer. And I saw a lot of movies this summer.
Yeah.
I just don't think there was anything better than F1 this past summer. Granted, Superman came out. It was a good movie. Fantastic Four came out. It was an alright movie.
Superman was not the best. It was
But
good,
F1,
but I just have never in my life seen Superman get beat down so much in my life. Like, that's not Superman.
he was getting how do I put this nicely? He was getting bullied. Let's put it like that. He was getting
Yeah, but
bullied the entire time.
It wasn't even that. It was more so like the Bears versus the Cowboys, where the Bears just absolutely wrecked the Cowboys. It was like that, but then worse than that. Like the dog, enough with the dog. It was too much
It's not
dog.
like the dog.
I'm not saying I like the dog. I'm just saying, like, isn't the title Superman? Not just the dog, mostly for everything? That's all I gotta
It's
say. It's
true,
just
but
too
I
much
did
dog.
I did like the inclusion of Crypto. It was nice to see the dog
It's nice
for
to
the
see
first
him,
like
but,
five
like,
minutes.
balance it out where it's not too much of him. That's all I'm saying.
He was
Speaking of
genuinely like the second main character.
primarily the main character, really. I mean, come on now. That's kind of who was really pushed as main character. But anyway, though, as a complete side thing, just so you guys know, if you've not already seen F1, you have Apple TV Plus or now Apple TV. December 12th is the day that you'll see this on Apple TV streaming service. So if you've not watched it, that's something that you just got to watch. It's so good. You can go buy it on demand right now. You can even rent it, but trust me, this is something that you just want to get. And I am looking forward to this movie to watch it in 4K UHD. It's awesome. So that's what's happening there. But back to the Apple TV branding. You know, it's a little bit sad because basically this service used to cost like $5.99, I think, when it came out, and now it's what $13 a month. Yeah,
Yeah,
for it.
it's
Not
getting kind
saying
of
that
high.
it does not deserve that because Apple has dramatically increased their production quality. Not saying what they made at first. I'm saying they're making more content than they ever did. Making movies, they're making TV shows, and they're doing a lot. Like they're really emerging as a studio that I'm really like what they're doing. They're kind of like HBO quality content. I'm not saying as far as the writing. I'm more saying like the production quality of HBO is really really good, and they're just doing their own thing, and they're not getting backed by Hollywood. Yes, they're using places like Time Warner to distribute things, but it's their own like crew and everything that makes and writes it. And I love seeing that like transparency in the market. I love that. How about you, Quasi? I mean, what's your overall experience with Apple TV content?
Well, I haven't watched many Apple TV shows. Obviously, I saw Luck when Luck first came out, and like
That was
whenever
really
the year
good.
it came out, it was a great movie. So I always had like a positive outlook on them. But after F1, dude,
F1
F1
was
was
just
something else. Like
yes.
I'm telling you, I'm not even a fan of racing movies. I can't sit down through Fast and Furious.
Really?
I don't know any other racing movies. Oh, okay, I might have lied. I watched the entirety of Cars, but
Yeah.
that Cars isn't really a racing movie. Cars is about a car gaining emotional maturity and no longer being a douchebag. But
It's so true
I
though.
just I don't like racing movies, and I sat down and I loved a racing movie. So definitely, I have a positive outlook on them. But I haven't watched any of their shows, so that's the next thing I need to do.
Ted Lasso. Make that your very first show you watch. Ted Lasso.
I just
Super,
knew you were
super
gonna
good.
say that.
Super, super good. Cause like, okay, it's not even about the whole idea of soccer. Just know that. That's like just part of it, you know? It's about the emotional journey of what they do as a team and the whole idea of it. I can at least give you that, Quasi. Let's give you the idea of the show. There is a marital dispute. Let's put it that way. I won't give too much away. Because of that marital dispute, a certain person in that marriage gets a whole entire soccer team as part of the event. Let's put it that way. And then they bring in an American football coach to man this team. That's a soccer team that knows nothing about soccer, nothing about anything, right, of the sport, in the hopes of ruining this team, destroying and botching the whole idea of it. And the journey is what happens when that occurs, basically, right? So it's a great concept of a show in general, and it really is an incredible journey of what you see for character development and the overall story and the positive outcome of Ted Lasso himself. No matter what he's going through, he always stays positive for his team and his, Coach is in the overall show, and that is just a beautiful moment in time. That's why the show's phenomenal.
All right. Well,
So anyway, that's Apple TV coming in and getting rebranded. So let us know what you guys think. Do you have the Apple TV hardware and subscription? Let us know in the comments below. Do you like it? What do you want to see them do more of or change with the device? Let us know below. Okay, last one, Quasi. Ho, ho.
all right. So a couple months ago, it was when I was home the last time, we were speculating on Apple's next CEO. And now we have a little bit more insight. We have a name that has been thrown around at Apple allegedly. And I think he's pretty young, isn't he?
50 years old.
Well, young for, Apple, executive age. Because a
How
lot of
old
them are
was
like,
Tim Cook? Sorry, not Tim Cook. Steve Jobs when he was CEO. That's a good question. We had to look that up.
so if he was born in 1955 and he died in 2011, then it stands to reason that he was only 55-ish years old. Maybe 56.
41 years old.
Okay, well, like, what about when he died? Yeah, he died
He
at age
died.
56.
Yeah. So he was 41 years old. He's been with us since age 21. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he was older. And what about Tim Cook? And what was he?
Well, if he's turning 65 next month, and he was, wait, let me do the math, don't tell them yet. And he was the CEO since 2011, then it stands to reason that he was 50,
That's correct.
51. Is it
50.
50? Yeah. Guys, I
50
I
years old.
passed middle school math. What
There
can
we
I
go.
say?
Good
What
job.
can I say?
So, the next CEO for Apple is most likely going to be John Turnus. Let's just get the right name out there.
No, it's definitely be
he's
Tim Cook again.
he's currently the head of like hardware engineering at Apple. So pretty much every device that Apple makes goes to him for final approval and everything like that. Besides Tim Cook, of course. And I've said it for a long time that I think of all the current Apple executives, he'd probably be the best one. Right underneath him would probably be Craig Federighi. But Craig, then he's a software guy. And I'm not saying he's not capable of doing all the CEO stuff at Apple. I'm saying John already has these several years of experience doing this. So it stands to reason to me that he'd be the likely next person to be CEO. Now, as we've heard now, this has been a decision that has been kind of like long coming. Back in May of last year, this is when this started to first be discussed. And I think for sure this is something that Tim Cook has talked to him directly about, and that's when it kind of started back then. He's getting kind of like you see him more now in like interviews with press more than you ever have, more than even Tim is at this point. And I'm thinking that's intentional, right? They've already made their choice, and this is what's going to happen. It's not been made public yet until Tim announces his retirement. Now, that all being said, Quasi, when does this say that Tim Cook is stepping down?
Does it say that Tim Cook is stepping down? I think. Hold on. Let me read this in my head really quick, guys. Give me 2 seconds. There's no indication that he has plans to retire anytime soon. So
Okay,
it
but the
doesn't say.
rumors state that he is going to step down by the end of this year. That's what the rumors state. We'll see if
I
that's
don't know.
true.
It says Cook will likely remain CEO for at least a few more years, but when he eventually steps down, it looks increasingly likely that he will be succeeded by Turnus.
Yes. Now, here's the fun fact about that. The person that was actually chosen before John was Jeff Williams. And guess what he did? He kind of left the company. Yeah, he left the company. He retired. So he's not going to for sure be it, right? I think John is a perfect fit for that role. What do you think, Quasey? He has that CEO discussion and talk when he talks to the press. He's very good at that. He has the charisma. He tells the press this iPhone Air and try to bend it with your hand. And you just can't. And I'm super confident of that. He just has that confidence that I really like. And he backs up with facts. I like that a lot about him too. There's one other person, Quasey, that would be an interesting turning point in a CEO choice for Apple that I think, for the most part, people would agree would be a great CEO as well. And that's got to be. Well, let's go back to the iPhone 10 era. Who was the voice of the iPhone 10? Johnny Ive. That man, I know he does not. I realize that completely. What I'm saying though is, no, like any CEO of Apple that we've had, they're good at what they say, they get what they do, but nobody to that level of speaking could convince you to buy something more than Johnny Ive. He just had that, like, there could be fires outside, there could be a whale slapping a dolphin into the next barbecue place. Doesn't matter what's going on. His voice would soothe anything, and he was very good at convincing anybody to buy anything. The iPhone 10 and iPhone X, phone was the turning point of an iPhone. That was when everything changed, I think, more than anything else. And I'm just super excited for what he brought to the table. And maybe they should just bring him back, into that role because he was so good at that. Quasey, I'm not sure what's happened. Well, until Quasey returns, I hope he knows he's not really on. He just dipped out. He'll be back, though. Let me just see if he's, there wasn't an earthquake or, a dinosaur just try and play band with him or something. Okay, he'll be back in a minute. But in any case, that would be an interesting twist to see him come back as CEO. There's Quasey. What happened?
What
There he
happened?
is.
Funny story. My dad had called my phone, right? And then my phone rang, my iPad rang, and my MacBook rang. And when my MacBook rang, it decided it was just going to turn off everything. But my dad was telling me I have to get ready to go to the airport. So,
Okay, well,
that's
we're
fun.
almost done.
Yeah, we are almost done. I'm not too worried.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys, but he's back. Quasey's back. Well, let's cut that
I am
out
back.
post. But in any case, what are your thoughts, Quasey? Do you think that'd be a good CEO choice, John Turnus, or others that you think that'd be a better choice, or up in the runnings? What's your overall opinion about
I
this?
think definitely because of how young he is, John Turnus is a stupendous choice. I just think he's gonna be. He can lead for a long time, and even though there are no plans for him or for Tim Cook to step down right now, I do think that he might be training John Turnus in the ways of the CEO, if that makes sense.
He's been spotlighted at Apple like crazy, and like I said, I don't even see Tim Cook anymore taking interviews for the major press for much at all anymore. I'm not saying he doesn't like doing that. I'm saying I think that's intentional, and he's really pushing John. I've seen more John Turnus interviews of this release than I ever have, and he does a really good job at what he does. So I'm happy that's gonna be the case. I hope he does become the CEO, and that's the Apple future that we see. So, okay, Quasey, what is your app of the week?
Okay, I definitely came unprepared this week. Um,
Ooh.
so I'll
Ooh.
let you go first, and I'll quickly find an
Okay.
app. Some random
Okay.
app is going to be getting a shout out this week.
My app of the week is Shortcuts by Apple. I wanted to bring this to light because when this came out, it was a revolutionary app that allows you to do like a if this and that kind of customization. You can have, you can dang near do whatever you want with the Shortcuts app. You can, say, every morning at 4 in the morning, text Quasi saying hi, or even more than that. They had some even robust things where if you got pulled over by a cop, you push this button and they would record the conversation with you and the cop, sent to 5 friends with your location. And it did just deep things like this. And I think we've all kind of forgotten about this phenomenal app and what it can do and the automation it could do and deep level of like automation for like for instance, you could have a Christmas light scene that you want to put on your lights outside and all that sort of stuff and have your cameras go to a certain point and text your friends and you when they get there. I mean, it's a very deep level app that people forget about. It's still there, and I just want people to know that don't give up on it. It's a really good app. It's actually better than the Apple Intelligence actually. So that's my app of the week. How about you, Quasi?
So, I had to scramble, right? I opened my iPad, and surprisingly, I had an app. Because last night, hold on, let me open. I was playing Mario Kart DS, alright? Now, how am I playing Mario Kart DS, you might ask? Did you know that there's this app called Delta? And I know we've talked about it, but I don't think I've done it for like my app of the week. And I really just have to give it a shout out because last night I had a ton of fun. What can I say? Like my 3DS died, and I had to pull out the emulator because I didn't bring a charger with me to New Jersey for some reason. Great idea, I know. But yeah. So my app of the week this week is Delta. You can play any game from the Game Boy, N64, a lot of games. I think everything up to the 3DS you can play, or everything
I had this
before it.
app too, and one thing I love about the app too that Quasi did not mention, that I'm shocked he didn't mention, is how you can sync your ROMs with your game states and game saves with any app. So if you have your iPad and your phone and your Mac and you all want to play in all of those, it will resume that like kind of like Steam on all of them, and that's awesome. So I
That is
love that a
awesome.
lot.
I
I
actually
love that.
didn't know that because I
Yeah.
only have Delta on my iPad.
Oh, yeah. So what I do is I sync the ROMs with iCloud and then the game states. So when you do that, it's all there. It's really really nice. I love that. It's just crazy that we get the games like let's say you get Pokemon Gold or Silver or Crystal. How small those game files were. Megabytes. Tiny. It's just crazy that you,
You
you
look
would
at a
spend
game today that's
hours
80 gigabytes.
or even more. Yeah. Yeah. That's different times for sure, right? Okay. We're now in the one more thing segment, Quasi. So, do you have any stories for us for this at all, or
No, I've just kind of been in New Jersey visiting my grandfather this week, so not too
okay?
much interesting happened.
Are you coming back soon? What's your?
Yeah, so I actually have a flight in about 3 hours, which is why I don't understand why my dad is trying to rush me out right now. It feels like, with the way TSA has been recently, I could really arrive 30 minutes before my flight and just walk in. But,
Ooh, that's pushing. I
you
wouldn't do
know,
that.
my
But
dad
how far
is,
are you from the airport?
so the airport's in Philadelphia, and our house is like 30 minutes maybe. So if we leave at 9, I don't see an issue. But, my dad's old school, which is
Hey,
weird
you know
because he has
what?
TSA
You don't be late
pre-check.
for a
So
plane.
no, the plane will wait on me.
Oh, it will not. It
It
will
will
go.
not wait.
And you'll be just like like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber trying to go on the tarmac and you just fall out because the plane's not there anymore. You know, it's not fun. Have you ever watched it before, Quasi, Ace Ventura movies?
I have watched Ace Ventura. You said Dumb and
Okay,
Dumber though.
I know. I'm
I,
getting that too. Ace Ventura
I've
and
seen
Dumb and
both
Dumber.
Ace Venturas though.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
Okay. So you know what I'm talking about, right? In the
of
very
course.
first one. Okay, perfect. Uh, okay, here's my quick story. I'm going to mention what happened to me. So I'm doing some on call this weekend, Quasi, on my desktop computer, and my screens just turn off.
Well, that's
Like,
fun.
what's going on here? I see the lights; they still have power. What's going on here? My computer's still on. So I'm like, what is going on here? Well, I had to get going, do some other stuff, so I kind of left it to come back to it. I can remote into my computer; it works great. Come to find out, my computer did a 25H2 update with Windows 11, and immediately just kind of cooked my graphics card in working in the sense of like what it does. And I did some troubleshooting, did some very vast deep dives to figure out what's going on with this. And I even went to Ubuntu to see if it works in that OS, which it works great in that OS. So my graphics card's not the issue. It's Windows.
It's time
And
to switch.
I went to Asus, asked them some questions, right? Because yesterday they were open, and the driver's latest update is like August of this year, which is not now. And my personal opinion is this driver does not support for Windows 25H2, because as soon as you update this graphics card to that latest version, it just doesn't work. It can't be found whatsoever. So I got for a split moment to find the Windows adapter, display adapter, which is like the worst quality possible, but it makes it at least work. And I got to like show up on the graphics card, say great, and then immediately found a driver, which is an older driver for this graphics card, and it worked. I'm like, yes, finally this is working great. And I updated the graphics card to the latest version, and it worked great for 25 minutes. And then went right back to being nonsense, and yet will not work.
That is really unfortunate.
Reached out to some people that I knew that are really good at this stuff, and I am great at this stuff. I did all the right troubleshooting that I should have done, right? It's just that I can't get this stupid card to be detected by my computer, even though it's plugged in, the fans are going and everything, so I can at least get an older version of the graphics card driver for it to work. So I asked ASUS, when's this going to get updated so it would work on this version of Windows? And they're like, well, we don't even know. It's a 4070, by the way, a GTX 4070, which is not a bad card. I just want it to work so I can play some Battlefield 6 and some more, which, by the way, is a great game. I played the first 2 missions before. They just stopped working, and, it's great, but I can't play right now.
Sorry to hear that. Hopefully that gets fixed for you.
I know, like, oh, I thought you had a Steam Deck. I do have a Steam Deck, and guess what? EA hates Steam. Hates it. You want to play on Linux? Be gone with you. Our anti-cheat will not let you play on there. Get a different
fun.
anti-cheat. That's all you gotta do. And why can't I play a game that just is the campaign, and why can't you anti-cheat for the multiplayer, where it only makes sense? You're not gonna cheat in the campaign, you're gonna cheat in multiplayer. That's where you put that into place, not for the entire game. Let's make some sense here, EA. Come on. You're not known to make sense in the game. You're known to make more and more money, but you'd have more clients if you had it for all platforms, not just Windows only for the OS. It's annoying. So I was not happy yesterday, Quasi. I was quite upset. And today I had to still use the onboard graphics, which works for using basic needs of a computer, but I can't play any of my games that I want to play, and makes me upset. That's my story of the. Well, on top of my iPhone issues, it was a little rough of a week. I mean, it's first world problems for sure, but it's still rough.
It'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any closing remarks, Quasi, or any last topics or discussions?
Subscribe, and then subscribe again.
If you cannot hear that he says subscribe. Yes.
That's all I want from you guys. I don't ask for much.
We do want to see our views exponentially get increased.
Fun fact, subscribing is free. I just want to put that out there. $0.
Very free. We don't even charge a subscription for this show. We don't ever plan to, by the way. I don't think we'll ever do that. Just so you guys know.
$0.
Like ever. Yeah, we're $0. So to watch this, it's $0. To subscribe, it's $0. To go on Discord
Leave a like,
and
it's $0.
to go on Discord and join our server, $0. So what you got to lose? Okay. Honestly, though, thanks guys for what you do, for watching us every week. I really appreciate that. Tell your friends about it, tell your family, tell your pastor, whatever it takes to get some more views, so it can be a huge community, and you can be proud to say that you listen to us every single week. Thank you so much for all that you do, guys. And next week, let's see what tech brings us.
Yep.
Okay.
See you guys next week.